Welcome to the final installment of my series, Painting the Same Location 3 Ways. My name is Sarah, and in this third and final video, I'm going to be painting the last scene of my scenic beach set of reference photos. At the very end, I'm going to remove all the tape so that you can see the final product in all three of them. Here we go. Welcome to the painting of 100 layers. This is my reference photo. I end up doing a horizontal landscape painting instead of a vertical or portrait because my other two paintings in this series were both vertical, so I wanted some variation. There were a couple things that made this reference photo difficult to use. One of them is how bright the day is. Even though it's really cloudy, we have a lot of sparkles and high contrast, especially on the water, but then also really silhouetted beach and foliage. And it took me a while to even figure out what kind of mood I wanted this picture to have, but it ended up where I really wanted to accentuate the moodiness of the misty, foggy mountains. And then I had to adjust the bottom half of the painting to feel like it was cohesive with the top. So we'll get started. I'm wetting the top of my painting first for the sky, and then I'm wanting to use some yellow to get that bright cloud area in the top left corner. And then I'm using mostly Moonglow, which is this beautiful neutral purple, as well as some indigo and some Prussian blue to get some variation on my clouds. But I really want it to be the sweeping, kind of sweepy upward motion of the clouds. It's interesting, this is my first attempt at the sky. I will do a second one because it will dry really light. Here you can see how light the sky dried, and you can't even see any of the yellow and barely any of the cloud variation. So I'm going to go back and redo that later. But right now I'm going to be adding in my first wash of my water. Again, this is the painting of 1,000 layers. And a lot of the times I'm going to speed up my painting to show time lapse, because I think that really does show the buildup of the layers over time. Now this water is this beautiful gray blue, and I end up wanting to make it a little bit more steely gray. But right now I'm using indigo, Prussian blue, and a little bit of that cobalt teal that I used in my last video, which I think is really beautiful. The beach itself is really dark in my reference photo. I use that Moonglow purple, but I also put down some Naples reddish yellow that I've used in other paintings as well. I'm going back to my sky after it's completely dry, laying down some clear water and being really careful not to scrub with my brush because I don't want to agitate the first layer of paint. Now I'm going in with darker color than I think I need, because the watercolor will dry lighter, but I'm finding that on this painting in particular, it's all drying much lighter than I'm intending. So I do go in darker than I want it to end up looking. I'm not worried about my mountains. I'm going to cover those up with gray. And again, I'm trying to do that sweepy upward pattern with the clouds. And you can see as it's dried lighter, but I am satisfied with how that sky turned out. Now in my last painting, I did the mountains where I painted the entire thing, the lightest color, let it dry, added the second lightest layer, let it dry, added the third lightest layer, let it dry, etc. This time I'm doing a different approach where I'm painting each layer separately. The reason for that is that I want to keep the mistiness and fogginess in between the layers of the mountains. So this back one is very light gray, very misty, moody, and I need a little bit more control as I do each layer so that I can have some variation in the mountains and have some fog or cloud in between. As I let that first layer of the back mountain dry, I'm going in with a darker color to do a little bit of a dry brush slash wash over my water. This is layer number 2 of the water. I'm also trying to carve out the direction of the water here, which was a challenge because the waves are coming in to that bottom left beach, but the tide is also pulling the water out towards the top left of the water. And so I attempt this several times. I can tell I want my water darker than my first layer. And I'm also trying to figure out how to show that movement in the water without having it look weird. And it honestly just takes a couple of layers and a couple of observations to get it to a place that I'm satisfied with. I'm using a damp brush that I've blotted off on my paper towel to do some lifting. This is where the brush acts as a sponge and is able to soak up some of that wet paint so that it can stay light back there. Now I'm moving on to my next layer of mountains, and you can see with this one, I'm starting darker at the top and then adding lighter paint all the way to clear water so that the bottom looks like there's a cloud or mist. This next mountain I'm adding in, I think, is the Twin Peaks called Two Brothers, and it is so tall that there's still snow on these peaks. It's so beautiful. I'm using a super light gray wash and kind of squiggling in some of that gray, but also maintaining that white for the snow. My next darkest layer is going in. We're sticking with a lot of grays. Last video, I talked about atmospheric perspective and how the closer you get to the viewer, the darker and the greener it gets. So I am adding in a little bit of green as I go, but really I'm wanting to maintain that kind of steely gray mood. You can see from my reference photo here how dark that beach is with those stones kind of silhouetted. So I'm adding in that Moonglow using dry brush, but that's just one layer of many. Now I'm putting in the next closest layers of the hills, and this other hill over here I realized was too light, so I'm adding in a darker wash to that as well. And now that that's dry, I'm adding in the closest landform yet. This is not quite a mountain as it is just land or a little hill, and it's close enough that I can see some of the tree texture. So I'm using the tip of my brush to kind of dot that in at the top to suggest some trees. And then while that dries, I'm gonna use some dry brush in my small brush to put some dark paint on top of this water. This is layer 2 or 3 of my water. And I speed up this section. Well, first of all, it takes forever. And I also end up not being really pleased. I'm trying to suggest ripples of waves. I'm trying to suggest the shimmer and sparkle from having such a bright sky and the light kind of hitting the water. But it is just too much texture. It's too high contrast, and I'm not pleased with it. So I'm gonna be adjusting. Because I used so many layers in this painting, this took a while. This ended up being pretty much an hour to paint, which for a 5x7 is kind of a long time. Usually doesn't take me that long, but this kind of felt like an exploratory painting where I tried out some techniques and adjusted as I went. Here I am going over with my mop brush and adding some darker color to that water. I think the original wash was too light and I added the texture too soon. So I'm going over, the texture's not completely disappearing, but a lot of it's the impact is getting lessened. I do want it all to kind of melt together. And same with this beach. Again, it was just too stark for the layer that I was at. So I add in a little bit more of that sand color and another wash, and it's starting to meld in a way that I'm more pleased with. Instead of adding more dark dry brush to get the texture of the water, I decided to go in with white gouache. Gouache is something I have way less experience with than watercolor, and while there are some similarities to watercolor, there are some things that I find very difficult. I do love using white gouache to add different details in my paintings, and here I'm trying to suggest the shape of the ripples and waves, as well as kind of some foam or froth where the waves hit the beach. The thing about gouache, though, is that it is opaque, and where watercolor will dry lighter, gouache often dries darker. So I sped up this section so that you can see as I'm adding down the white gouache, it is drying to the point that it is just kind of blending into the rest of the water. So this is layer 1 of my gouache out of, I think, 4 that I add in until I'm satisfied. I'm so used to using watercolor that I'm using quite a bit of water with this gouache instead of using the pure pigment that I end up doing at the end, which gets a more satisfying result for me. Some painters don't like to use white watercolor or gouache with their watercolors, and they like to use the white of the paper to get any whites in their paintings. And people are a little bit more watercolor purists at times, which I respect. Love that for them. It's not really me. I'm not super picky. I love using white watercolor or white gouache when it suits me. There is a beautiful luminous quality to using the white of the paper, but for me to be able to make that happen here, I would have had to plan a lot better with my water in the initial stages, and I just didn't do that. So I'm going to add in a crap ton of white gouache. Here we go. I'm adding in that dark Moonglow again. As I'm getting more satisfied with the white on the water, I now want to add back in the contrast that I covered up earlier and suggest some different rock shapes. One thing I really love to do when I'm painting a beach is to use a shadow color where the water is meeting the sand, and that either suggests shadow of the waves or dark sand or dark rocks. And so before I add more white gouache, I'm doing this strategy to see if that will help make the white pop. And it does, but not as much as I want. So I am going to add in more of that white in a little bit. Here's layer 3 of my gouache. I'm using a bigger brush. I'm trying to use more of the paint and less water so that it will stay whiter. I am enjoying putting in these squiggles to suggest the direction that the water is going. Did I get carried away with this? Oof, who's to say? I had fun. At this beach, there's this beautiful tree that's growing down, and depending on where the tide is, sometimes it grows right down into the water. And so I'm adding in these branches really thin at first to kind of get the shape where I want it to go. And then I'm going to go in with the thicker trunks and foliage. It's silhouetted at this view, and so I'm using my dark indigo color. This was fun to add in too because I'm starting to get to a point where I feel like I'm done. I'm still going to play around with the gouache on the water, but adding in this foliage kind of frames it to one side. It's a really distinctive detail of this beach. I think it's really pretty. I really liked adding in the shadow on the water, and it really kind of places that tree in the scene. I don't know if that makes sense. Layer 4 of my gouache. I'm using the thickest paint yet. At this point, I'm like, girl, you have to be done soon. But I am satisfied with how it ends up looking. It just was a bit of trial and error that I wasn't anticipating. But I ended up having this painting be a very different mood from my other two, but still just really gets at that Pacific Northwest mood with, the overcast and the water and the trees and the mist. So pretty. Maybe there's a seal out there. I usually see a seal when I'm at this beach. I want to make a seal friend. I'm adding in some more little tiny last foliage last foliage details. We're almost done. And here it is. I was happy with how this painting came out, although it is my least favorite of the three in the series. It was really good practice for me to troubleshoot some different things that weren't working for me. Now it's my favorite time, which is taking off the tape. I don't know why my camera has this weird like glare on it. I'm sorry about that. But this was such a fun series. I feel like the subject matter being the same for all three makes them feel cohesive. The other reason is using a very similar color palette apart from a couple of different paints. I feel like makes these paintings look cohesive as well, even though they do all have really different moods. And it makes me feel really nostalgic to look at them. I hope you enjoyed watching. Bye!